So you have seen the Sunny V2S, the Galaxy K Zoom, the Galaxy S4 Live demo unit, but let's add to that weirdness just a bit more. It arrived. This right here should be the bomb that's no longer a bomb. If you guys know, you know. But let's get right into this, if I can find any way to cut into the tape. Nice. Oh, I see it already. Just right for the packaging. Oh, there it is. Let's get it out. And ta-da! The Samsung Galaxy Note Fan Edition. I have one now. So a bit of a charge later. There it is. And as you can see, it is LG U Plus branded. But yeah, there we go. The Galaxy Note FE, fully booted up and ready. As you can see with a few apps. That was interesting. I didn't get to catch what that said, but yeah. So as per usual, we have our typical device info hardware, benchmarks, games, and the video audio test. Oh, and the camera test, of course. I kind of keep forgetting about that. However, this is an extra part. History. Why is there a Galaxy Note Fan Edition and how is it different from a Galaxy Note 7? Well, so this Galaxy Note Fan Edition is a second revision of the Galaxy Note 7. The only difference being, well, branding and, well, a smaller battery. These things are flight safe technically. So these things will not explode in your flight or in your bag while charging. At least there's a less of a probability that it will. Considering the software that's on here, I think this came out in 2017 because that was around the same time with the Galaxy S8 and this has the Galaxy S8 wallpapers and stuff and the ringtones. But funny thing is the hardware inside compared to the Note 7 is basically the same. The Note 7 could have ran One UI. In fact, we kind of have evidence right here with the Note FE that it can run One UI and it runs it, well, decently well. That's a bit of an end of the history lesson. Let's get to the actual thing, the device info hardware. What we have over here is, well, as I said, the Galaxy Note FE with Android 9 with an Exynos 8890. It gets very toasty, I've noticed. ARM64 chip with 8 cores, a security patch in 2021. Interesting. 1440p display, though this is currently running at 1080p, but it's at 59 Hz, not 60. 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. Camera, Sony IMX260 of 12 megapixels and the front camera being the Samsung's 5 megapixel sensor. So as you can see, yep, we have all this fun stuff. Battery wise, 3000 milliamp hours, 3200 milliamp hours. Here's the spec sheet. I can't actually pop the back of this phone to check, so yeah. And that seems about it, really. So, yeah. Now, on to the benchmarks, with which we're gonna be doing J2ME. And the score we got is 181,581. Here's the leaderboard. So with J2ME out the way, performance test. Let's get rid of the S Pen overlay because I'm pretty sure that's probably going to taint the performance just a bit, but right benchmark. And we got a result. So if we close all of these, we get, which if we set this off to the side, we get this number. Here's the leaderboard. So with the specs and benchmarks out of the way, we have, well, a few games. Now we're gonna start off light, I would say. Words of Wonders. Okay, so far, it's actually doing pretty good. And now, okay, we press claim. Okay, that's been consistently smooth. That's good. Let's see. Yeah, it's smooth, just with a few hitches. That was actually pretty smooth. So yeah, you could play World of Wonders on here. Next up, Subway Surfers. Well, I can't say the touchscreen is pretty responsive, so that's good, even though this is cracked and has a little bubble. Oh, okay, that was a mistake. Never mind. So the touchscreen is a little bit weird, but well, Subway Surfers out of the way. Now we have Smash Hit. Just as expected for a game of this age, that's perfectly fine. So I don't see an issue. Okay, I'm having terrible aim today, so that's fun. I can definitely feel the game is hitching a little bit. That's not great, but it's picking up the pace, so I guess that's good. Okay, and well, good enough. Sliver.io. Oh, this is even simpler. I should have started off with this one. It runs, well, issues. So yeah, so these little basic, I don't know, HTML games, I guess? I don't know what they're really called. Yeah, they will run perfectly fine. So yeah, if you have to play something like Sliver.io on a Note 7 or a Note FE, yeah, this will absolutely do. Oh well, I died. And Asphalt 8. I'm not a fan of the copyright music, but oh well. Do a bit of okay. Surprisingly, this is running on a solid 60 frames a second. That's actually really good. Yes, I know. Steering to the left. You press the left button. Oh, I can see the performance dipped. Yeah, it feels now 30-ish. It used to be 60. What happened? That's odd. The fact the frame rate dipped quite heavily is not great. There we go. Nice. Oh, and it lagged out. Tutorial complete. Heavy racing titles, like, I guess Asphalt falls into that heavy racing category, does it? Yeah, it ran pretty well. So I guess I'll have to give a praise to the Galaxy Note FE a bit. And one thing that the Note 7 is kind of at a disadvantage, but the FE is at an advantage, is that it's running Android 9, which means there's more compatible things for it to run, which is good. Now we have emulation. I don't expect Dolphin to run well. I don't expect Dolphin to run well, but we'll hear it. I'm already disappointed. Yeah, that's not great. Nintendo DS emulation. Okay. And we're connected. I got bamboozled. I thought, hey, this works. Wouldn't this work? Nope, nothing works. Okay. Does it say take it easy? I'm confused. Can we get to first place? Can we get ahead of Luigi? The answer seems like right now, not at the moment. Oh, we're getting ahead. We're getting ahead. Wait, we got ahead. Nope. We managed to push Luigi off to the side. And now he's driving a lot slower. And I think I saw a blue Koopa. Yep. Well, what's the point? We won. So, it basically passed with flying colors. I mean, it's nearly as old as the Galaxy S8, though it has the specs of a 2016 Note 7. it did surprisingly well. So I don't know. Next up, the multimedia test, which we're gonna be starting off with the speaker test, specifically. The speaker is a little bit quiet, actually. I have to like do it like this so I can actually hear it properly. I mean, there's a little bit of bass. It sounds alright. Honestly, for just a mono bottom speaker, it actually sounds decent. That's actually alright. We're hitting the volume limit though. I can't go over this and it sounds quite quiet. At least to me, it sounds a lot more quieter than the S24 Ultra, so I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys have a listen as well to this. Yeah, it's only a mono speaker at the bottom, so oh well. But it actually sounded alright. Video enhancer, let's see how that does. And well, it does actually add a bit of a pop to color, which is good. Or at least the display itself looks pretty good. And the reds actually look like really red. Yeah, everything has, it's a very, very specific color. Like very, very red, very, very green, very, very yellow, very, very blue. It's doing a good job of that. So yeah, the color enhancer is actually doing its job here and looks great. Our camera looks a bit overexposed, obviously, but to my eyes, it actually looks good. The audio is okay for a mono speaker. That's actually pretty good. And the screen looks absolutely amazing. I have to admit, that is good for an AMOLED. I mean, obviously the video enhancer actually did quite most of the heavy lifting over here, so I guess that makes sense. The TikTok test, and I have some good news. This thing actually handles it alright. So as you can see, smoothing is smooth, time skipping is smooth, and yeah. Now if we try to take, let's say, a video, like let's say I put this thing, issue is that because of low lighting, it's actually running at a low frame rate. So this is using some sort of camera API v1, I assume? I don't remember, but yeah. The color doesn't look too bad, especially once you zoom in, it looks alright. Let's see what audio it chooses for this. It doesn't pick an audio. Let's do a photo. I mean, I have to admit, that's actually a pretty useful adapter, so I guess it makes sense. There's no issue with that. And now, well, the camera. I actually have something that's very interesting that I kind of want to get around making a video on, but I just never really got around to doing it. It doesn't look very interesting, does it? How about now? I'm referencing the live demo unit video, but yeah. proto.nokia.com. This is a prototype. It doesn't really look all that different from the actual unit that came out, but this is gonna be the subject. So I'll try to get a photo of that text if I can. Focus. As per usual, we're gonna be doing 1080p 60 frames a second. This right here is a video test using the Samsung Galaxy Note FE, or well, Galaxy Note 7 revision 2.0. And as you can see, if we try to focus, we can focus on the Zeiss text. What about the micro USB port? Oh, the autofocus is struggling there. If I manually focus, it does the job. You can kind of make out the proto.nokia.com text. Can you? You can. Well, that was actually pleasant for a back camera test. Conclusion, this is really cool, even though it's not outpacing my Galaxy S24 Ultra right here as the camera. It's really cool. It's the coolness factor that makes this thing really cool to have because, well, fan edition, number one. Number two, its history of, well, the fact that this was a Note 7, it blew up, they put a smaller battery and sold it like this, makes it even cooler, I think. So, yeah, I like it. I really do, even though it's, well, not in the best shape, as you can see. I mean, there's chunks of glass missing, parts of the OLED just being exposed right then and there. Yeah, there you go, you can just touch the actual AMOLED, the AMOLED panel itself is just exposed. And, well, no S Pen, but it wins the coolness factor. I like it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!